Welcome back to Whitt Acres. It's August and we're going to take a walk around the garden. We have a pretty nice day and they're actually calling for some rain. It might come later this evening though. I am completely out of water at the barn though, so I got to fill up a cube and take it up there. But before we get started, a word from today's sponsor. Today I wanted to take a moment to mention my website where I have a bunch of nature-inspired designs. So I put together some nature-inspired designs on shirts, hats, other apparel, and a variety of other items. And I also have all my Whitt Acre merchandise on there as well. I have my Easily Distracted by Nature line on there for kids and adults. And I've also been recently working with an artist to get some really nice designs of the animals on the homestead. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure to browse through my website down below, whittacresdesigns.com. Let's get back to the video. Come on, Bob. Pup, you want to take a walk around the gardens? So while the cube's filling up, we're going to take a walk around the garden and see what's going on. So we still have some blooming snapdragons here in the pots on the steps and in the steps. And then down here in the pea gravel, we have some volunteer coxcomb and some volunteer bleeding heart amaranth. This is actually a type of grain and you can harvest this and make bread out of it. I'm not doing that though. But we have a few of those volunteers around here. They actually make a really nice draping, like dreadlock hairstyle of flower. Real thick ropes. Which I'm really happy to have them because they're the only color I'm getting here with these volunteer zinnias. And the kaleidoscope buddleia next to the greenhouse is still blooming. We did start to get the pond bank cleaned up here. I got it pretty much weeded out and I'm just letting these sunflowers finish up before I cut those down. And the pugster butterfly bush is still putting on some beautiful color here. And I have Mumbles and the ducks out foraging in the field. They're enjoying it a lot more now that we got some green up after the rain from Hurricane Debbie. Oh, fish, what are you doing in there? I just fed you. I'm not going to throw anything more in there until this evening. Got the bluegill over here next to the goldfish. The bluegill and the bass blend in so well into the natural scape here. Where are you going, fish? I love when they start to shoal together like that. All the ducks are out there preening after coming out of the pond. Where's Mumbles? There you are, girl. Mumbles. But I think my next video and garden project is going to be removing this willow from the intake bay and planting it out there next to the field pond. I'm definitely pretty curious about that root system in there. But I think it's going to be pretty nice resetting the pond back down to level here, getting it just cleaned up. Maybe I will put some fresh mulch or compost on there. After I get the sunflowers cut down there, it's going to be a nice change here into the fall. The waterfalls still look good though. Oh, the geyser. There's the thumbnail. I got the massive rug of periwinkle and English ivy vine cut back and I uncovered all my succulents. Well, both of my succulents. There's still weeds in here. Get that. Get that one too. Oh, what a root. Look at that. Oh, there's more in there. But this sempervivum here is still alive. And I have the other one, hens and chicks, up here that's doing pretty well in the pot. It might actually need to be separated out. It's pretty full in there. I was able to save some blooms here. Obviously we have the sunflowers blooming here. We have the purple oxalis still blooming here, the little tiny light purple flowers. Behind that we have the bachelor button. That's just volunteer coming up here. And more volunteer zinnias right here that I weeded around. And I actually noticed yesterday that we have a volunteer lupin blooming really late right now. That'll be nice to have a blooming lupin here on the pond bank next year. What are you doing, bug? So a lot of bees and pollinators are actually puddlers and they go into the wet rocks there. They don't drink out of open water. So there's something here for everybody, huh, Pop? You gonna be fishing? All right, you do you. But I still left it a little overgrown here on the steps and I like it that way. Huh, Pop? That thunder or a plane? Just a plane. And then we have the Veronica Speedwell. It's pretty much finished up blooming, but we still have one tiny little flower on there. It's really similar to the Liatris, but it actually stays pretty small. I had a pink one here too, as a bubblegum speedwell. Things are always changing though. But there's just a nice little grouping of volunteers here. We have white and red 4 o'clocks, we have the yellow poppies, we have this coxcomb coming up here, and some snapdragon back here. The lupin is right behind the stone, and then climbing up here we have a volunteer cardinal vine about to bloom. Let me see you. Come back here. Come here. Get out of here, periwinkle. We're not talking about you. It's got another day or so before it opens, but that volunteered right out of here. It has a nice fern style leaf too. I like that vine. Now I didn't do anything with a patio pond here. There is still 2 shabunkin living in this pond. I put them in there last year. They survived in this pond just as it is all winter long. So the top of the pond did freeze over multiple times during the winter. Our temperatures go down into the teens Fahrenheit, but leaving the waterfall on always kept a small opening in the ice, so the fish were able to survive. This is just a 20-gallon pond liner, and I think a lot of people just bury these into the ground, which would help it keep the temperature a little bit more level and keep it from freezing. But I don't think my mom wants to lose any space in the rose bed. Oh, the geyser. So we're gonna keep it like this for now, but the shabunkin are still living in there. Getting bigger. If I can try and focus and get my ideas in order, I do want to make some more water features here. And add some more finishing touches to this one. And maybe even adding one to this flower bed. Alright, it's not full yet. We still have time. Up here at the pergola, the sunflowers are starting to finish up. I'm pretty sure I have a volunteer raspberry coming up in this pot now. But up here at the pergola, the volunteer sunflowers are starting to finish up and the heads are drooping down. These seeds are going to start finishing up here, and then the goldfinches are going to be over here starting to peck them open. The goldfinches have been all over these. Alright, I'm starting to think there's an air show or something in town. What's the date? There shouldn't be. It's usually last month. I don't know, sometimes the blue angels come. But you can see we have a few different volunteer sunflowers here. These are the American Giant. They'll get about 10 to 12 feet tall. Down here we have the Topolini. It keeps pretty small, about 2 to 3 feet, and it has multiple heads coming off of it. This one in here I believe is the Lemon Queen. It has a lighter yellow color to it. And then one of my favorites, and the bees' favorites, is this multi-headed sunflower. It always gives you something to look at no matter what angle you're on. But I am really enjoying seeing the pergola fill up here and starting to feel like a lush jungle. What? What are you doing? That's a rabbit house, pup. We're not going in there. You leave that rabbit alone. I don't think that's the one eating my pumpkin. I don't know if I want to walk out front right now. My neighbors are out cleaning their cars, but it is looking pretty good out there. We have the limelight hydrangeas blooming along the fence line, or what will be the fence line once we put the fence back up. And we still have some gladiolas blooming over there, showing off on that corner. But the volunteers are keeping the front porch looking good. So you guys obviously hear me talk all the time, but if you ever saw me out in public, which would be a rare sighting in itself, I don't talk much. I'm what the kids be calling these days introverted. Pop. We're just hanging out in the gardens most of the time. The silver lace vine is looking beautiful here on the arch, just blooming away. And right down at its feet we have the purple Grapeolini crepe myrtle, just looking gorgeous. It has beautiful clusters here and a lot more to keep opening up, so we're gonna have a long lasting color from this. And the purple and the white, great combination. I don't know if we're gonna get that rain or not. I'm coming, pup. In the pathway here we have some more volunteer sunflowers blooming. Unfortunately, I never got any of my gourds to take off this year, so we're just gonna have to try again next year. But these couple of red dahlias that my dad got in the ground early enough are blooming beautifully. And the calla lilies are still blooming here, a nice big one right here. But I think even though it was a lazy gardening year, we still have pretty good views around each pathway here. Puppy. That looks like I have about 10-15 minutes left. We'll head down to the vegetable garden, but we'll take a peek back at the front yard. Not bad. But down here in the vegetable garden, I want to remind you it's August, so you're going to have to look past the weeds. Oh, is that a bluebird? That's awesome. I rarely see bluebirds here. That was a bluebird fighting with a cardinal. That's a tomato. There was a bluebird fighting with the cardinal. Ooh, a finch. Hi, bud. How you doing? Oh, I lost the bluebird. We got trucks making noise on the highway. I'm trying to listen to nature. We do have a couple blooms left of gladiolas here in the pollinator ring, but I think I am going to be making some massive changes down here in the vegetable garden. I'm going to be making room for some priorities. And my gardening priority for next year is going to be a giant pumpkin, because I don't think I'm going to be getting one this year. I mean, the plant is looking really good right now, but it's getting late in the season and we're starting to get pretty cool nights. And pumpkins are a summer squash and they start to slow their growth around 50 degrees. What are you doing, pup? I hear that tail. It probably ran into the soybean field already. But the pumpkin plant is still growing here, but it knows cool weather is upon us. And its main objective is to get a seed made so it can carry its genetics into the following year. So if we look down here all on the tips, we're starting to get some female flowers. The female flower is going to grow here and open up, and then we can get a male flower over here to pollinate it. It is considered to take up to 110 days to get a mature Atlantic giant pumpkin, but the plant, knowing cool weather is upon us, will ripen its fruit faster, trying to get a seed matured so its genetics can be carried into the next year. So I'm still holding out hope. I got the drip system set up in there so I'm able to keep this watered and healthy, and I got that leaf blower duster combination so I'm able to keep the bugs off of this. Echo pup, out. Don't walk through the vine bud. I know it's weedy and you can't see the pathway anymore. I don't want you stepping on any of them. So all that's helping out with the plant so far, but we got to hope for a longer season. But I want to open up a lot more space here for the pumpkin next year and really get the patch ready and amended and tilled in and really try to give it a valiant effort next year. I 100% should have pulled my potatoes out by now, but I didn't get to them at all, so I just left them in the ground. I might still be able to get to them. I mean, we haven't had a lot of rain for them to rot. And we have been getting some ripe tomatoes here. If tomatoes were any good, I'd be picking them to eat them. I will give some to the animals. Oh, we're filling up here. Caught it just in time. We are full. But anyway, tomatoes are a nightshade and the plant itself is poisonous to all the animals, so I can't give the greens to them. And the seeds and the skin of the tomato aren't that great for them. I can give them some. It's not going to bother them too much, and it'll give them a variety of a treat. Especially the pigs, they'll be the least affected, but they also might not like the taste. Come here, pup, let's close this up. That's gonna be all for this one. Like I said, I really need to get that willow tree out of the pond and moved out to the field pond. So that'll probably be next video. If you want to keep following along with everything here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Good boy.